know this picture? Well, of course we know this picture. This one, the one of Prince Harry on the doorbell, right? This will become infamous. And perhaps some people might say for all the wrong reasons. Because there was Harry, as we now know, up and down the London street, all meanwhile basically claiming that it was unsafe for him and his family to be seen anywhere near in London town, the United Kingdom, because he needed our security, our expensive security. And then, of course, like he is, he's just gone and outed himself as a bit of a clot by popping up and down on this particular person's doorbell, allegedly looking for an old friend. We know kind of the story now, right, Harry? But the thing is, the bottom line for Harry, as ever, is there's always another story behind the scenes. And this one actually does involve Catherine, the Princess of Wales. As ever, let me explain. Morning. Nice to see you, chums. Lovely for your company, as ever. And by the way, we'll have a nice wave. Can I just thank you, by the way, for your lovely comments regarding the video about the very macabre place, yes, in Notting Hill in West London. As I said, you know, it's weird. We all knew that film. I loved your comments, by the way, so thank you for getting involved. But as you said, you all knew it. But even I didn't really know where that area was. And I worked around that area a long time. And you think, yeah, when they rename them, you have no idea. And it's a funny thing, isn't it? The places that they rename. I know, for instance, there's a complete building, you know, brand new homes building site in an area not too far away from me that actually has the bodies of the plague. Yes, the medieval plague underneath. I don't think anybody's told the people who bought the houses. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in that, but you do come away thinking, wow. But I guess wherever we live, we're always building on history, aren't we? That's the thing. I know. What do you think to that, eh? I know. Well, you imagine if you're lying there in the middle of the night and you hear a knocking, you think, oh, here we go. It's a little bit like this, isn't it? Prince Harry knocking on the door. Do you like that segue there? It's like Harry knocking on the door. Now, this shocked a lot of people. And of course, you know, in fairness to Harry, you know, he must know these things exist, but maybe he just didn't know it was recording. So I'm not knocking him for that. I think, you know, we've all got to be in our guard now, because wherever we go, we're being filmed 24/7, aren't we? Somebody somewhere is pointing a camera, unless you're in your privacy of your own home. And then you never know, do you? Now, here's where this gets really interesting for me, you see, because when Harry was in London at that particular period, and this says a lot exactly about how Harry, whatever he wants to say, is trapped. The moment he gets free, and the moment he's away from the hooded clutch and claw of course, Meghan Markle, he reaches out. Now, as we all know, he can't make contact with his father, His Majesty the King. He openly said that on national television. But what he did do, and I know this from an excellent source, 100%, he delivered a series of notes, letters, whatever you want to call them, particularly to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Now, according to the source who was working with Harry up until recently, that's the person that he truly misses the most. Now, I can understand why, you know, because Catherine's a nice, empathetic person, probably understood Harry more than he realised and now realises himself. And they had a good connection because, of course, Catherine, I think, was the good block between those sort of wearing brothers, you know, the sort of thing. I would imagine that she understood that they had their arguments, their pettiness, but because she came from a bigger family, with a sister, with a brother, she was able to smooth it out. And I think you can see that on a lot of the videos, you know, she's the one jollying things along. Now, according to the source, Harry was very keen, apparently, to put into paper, you know, obviously offering his sympathies and get well wishes and stuff like that. And he wanted it delivered personally to know that it would go through. And this was particularly for Catherine's recent illness, which she's still, of course, recuperating from. Now, I think that says a lot about Harry, actually, because what he's trying to do, some might say, is go through the back door and try and connect that way. But then really, Catherine's in a bit of a dilemma herself, because obviously William doesn't want anything to do with Harry, and neither would Meghan want anything to do with Catherine. So they can never really forge this connection back. But that's the level, and that's the confusion, many people might suggest, that, of course, the former royal, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, is in. Desperate to reach out to somebody who, as they quoted, understood him. But on the second part of the plot, well, Harry himself has no idea now how to deal with that moving forward. Now, do we know if Catherine's contacted him? Truly, we have no idea. The other side of the coin, I would suggest, is an emphatic no. Why would she? Could she risk it? But that's truly in the very darkest points of his soul where Harry really truly is right now. So while Meghan might say he's a fox and it's great, behind the scenes there's a lot darker things going on. Neil Shaw, Kensington, London.